Hi guys, this is Salome Basi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm not doing this alone again. I mean, you're used to me always being alone on here. For today, I'm not going to be alone. I'm not doing this alone, and I'm very, very excited. This is the most beautiful thing real estate with Sally have been able to do since we started. Since I came into Lagos, I came into Lagos to continue with the real estate I've been passionate about, I've always been excited about. Ever since my relocation, I've always been excited about real estate and marketing, sales, and everything. But one of the things that held me back from, I wasn't marketing land properties, I wasn't selling land properties, I wasn't telling anyone come and buy land properties because I was scared. I was skeptical. I mean, 8 out of every 10 property in most parts of Lagos, especially Bejuleki, actually sham properties. A lot of fake properties are parading around. So if your eyes are not down, you might, who knows, you might even be a victim without even knowing. As a matter of fact, if I were you, after this, I'll just go check the property I bought to be very sure that I'm actually not one of the victims I'm talking about. So a lot of sham properties are really all around Lagos State majorly, and in Bejuleki mostly. So if you're not aware of the nitty-gritties you need to know to be able to verify a legitimate property, you're definitely going to fall a victim to this. So it was on this, one of the persons that held me, that showed me the way, helped me understand all of these things, because I was a novice, just like you are. I had to take the time, take the pain, and learn some of those things. I'm still learning, but I have somebody that's in there, has been doing real estate for over 2 years. As in, he's learned all that needs to be learned. He knows these things, and I've learned so much from him. He's more like my mentor in the real estate space. So I'm very, very honored to have him here. So I just didn't want you hearing me all alone, just talking like my normal talking. I wanted to hear from him. So today I want to dissect a very, very, very important topic. And this is, please talk. I don't want to introduce you.
My name is Oluka Badijo. I'm a real estate consultant. So we'll be shedding more light on a lot of darknesses in the real estate industry. So I hope you enjoy the session. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm sure they will. Okay, right now I want to be talking about excision. I want to understand what an excision is. I mean, when I came in newly into Lagos to practice real estate, was like, I've been hearing was like excision, like, what are these people even talking about? I've never heard something like this. So I had to learn all of this because they're very important. If you're buying into real estate, if you're looking to invest in real estate, you need to know all of these terms and how they come to play and how to identify the legitimate document that does actually bears this name from the one that it doesn't. Because as I said, a lot of dirty stuffs are playing around real estate. So it's our duty, it's our job to help you navigate all of this. There was this conversation I had with a client. He's in the US currently, so we got in contact through YouTube, and he was like, I'm looking to buy a property in Bejuleki, but most properties I'm seeing is Excision. I don't like Excision, I need C of O. So like, I tried to get him on board. Okay, this is what Excision is. I was like, still was very, very faint. So I just wanted to tell them in your own word, you've been in the real estate space, you understand real estate, you understand those things better. What is an excision, and is it a good title? Is it right for someone to buy an excision property or an excised property?
Excised property, yes. Okay, well, the truth is, it is very good to buy an excised property, and that is the truth of the matter. A property that has an excision as a title is a perfect property to buy. You can go ahead and buy it. And now, what is the excision itself? So we don't just give you. You just have to go ahead with buying properties without knowing what the title really is. So what's excision itself? Excision is cutting a part of something. For instance, in your apartment where you live, you have a kitchen, you have a bedroom, you have a living room, you understand? Now, before all of those different rooms were cut out, it was just an empty space. Before they mapped out the rooms, the kitchen, the bathroom, all of those things. Now, this is what excision means. Once they cut out the living room out of the whole space that you have there, that means the living room has been excised from the whole apartment. Once they cut out the kitchen, it means the kitchen has been excised from the whole apartment. So now let's get back to what excision really is. So for instance, most properties from the get-go do not have titles on them. So before you can go ahead and process an excision title on a property, you should first of all find out if property is under free acquisition or under committed acquisition. Now, what is free acquisition? What is committed acquisition? If the property is under committed acquisition, that means you've gone to allow the Ministry of Lands to search in Lagos State and they tell you, okay, this property is committed. What it means is that the government are interested in that property and are probably marked that property for a particular use. Most of the time, public use. It could be social, it could be amenities, it could be roads, it could be hospitals, it could be schools, it could even be a cemetery. You understand? Yes. So once something is under committed, it means that that property has been marked out by the government for public use. You understand? For public use, something that will benefit the entire populace. Do you get what I'm saying now? That means it's not safe to buy such properties because it's under government acquisition already. I hope you understand that. So that kind of property now cannot undergo an excision because the government is interested in it, unless the government now comes out to say otherwise. Now, for a property that's under free acquisition, it simply means that you can go ahead and process an excision under it. That means some people will tell it's under general acquisition or under global acquisition. It's still free acquisition. That means that property you can go ahead and process an excision on the property. And the first stage of doing that is filing for excision with the government. After filing for excision with the government allocates you an excision file number. So the government checks out the land to be sure that it's not under government acquisition. Once they check that they know that it's not under government acquisition, they can go ahead and allocate and give you an excision. Now, for instance, if you are applying for excision on a property of let's say 200 acres, the government, after doing their own checks from their own back end, they may decide to tell you that okay, out of these 200 acres, we'll only give you excision on let's say 150 acres. The remaining 50 acres is under government acquisition. So that means the excision will only be granted on 150 acres of land for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's simply what an excision is. So once the government grants an excision, they grant the whole community the excision. That means when you see an excision document, you will see the community name on that document, and this community has been granted an excision. For instance, the place on Ibejuleki, you see Biologia excision. The Biologia is the name of that community. So if you see different estates in that area, they will fall under that same excision. If you go to some places, you will see maybe a local excision or something. Do you get what I'm saying now? So different communities have different excision. Like in Shomutedo, there is an excision that covers Shomutedo community. That's the Shomutedo excision. Do you get what I'm saying now? So once you see that excision, you go and chart your own, the estates you want to buy into, it must fall under some certain excision. If it doesn't fall under that excision, then you must not buy. It is not safe. It may not be safe to buy such properties. Do you understand now? So you must always do your own checks to be sure that you are not buying something outside of the excision for which the person has told you the property falls under. So that's briefly excision, but on the lighter hand, excision is the perfect title, and if property has excision, of course you can buy it.
So, if you're still here, I believe you're enjoying this conversation. I hope we're not boring. So, we are looking at. I want to make this a series. I want to make this a series episode talking about different things, trashing out watchful things you should be watchful about when you're about buying a property, things you should be concerned about, things you should be looking out for. So this is the entire concept about this discussion I'm having with Mr. Coyote here.